January 8th, 9:46 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 1.
Alright, taking bets on how injured Gumshoe is when he shows up. Good enough.
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
We haven't given her the new weenies yet!
Weenies, weenies, ween. It's probably the post-court thing. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? You're going to put all these weenies in your mouth. Yesterday's session didn't go so well, and then ended on a giant mystery.
That's true, and we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination! I'm filled with it! Overused meme!
Why don't I believe you? You haven't really played Undertale, have you?
I
No.
love Skeleton Bros! Sans is the tall one, right?
I will accept this for now. It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to your defendant seat. The stool.
Real quick, you know the runaway guys throwing controllers I told you about?
I still haven't watched that, but I need to.
Basically a game show thing, and one of the things that contestants do is called Who the Heck Is That? Where they show a silhouette of a character, give a vague not vague, but they give a description, and then people have to guess who the character is. Papyrus has come up twice that I've seen. Nobody's gotten him!
How?
Like, the Papyrus silhouette shows up, and they just give the description of, like, this spaghetti-loving skeleton wants to capture a human, yeah, ha, ha. And people are like, because, like, they haven't played Undertale or something.
I would think you'd be all over the internet enough for people to know. Roger, don't let me down.
Hey,
Mr. Wright, I'm counting on you.
There-
Everyone is secretly Batman.
That's Terminator. Oh, he looks fine.
Hey, pal.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Quit stressing Maggie out. She don't need that.
How did you know she was stressed?
I was watching through the doorway.
Oh.
You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here,
Hey!
maybe just finally. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not in a million years. Pal, don't tell me that you don't remember this thing.
Stop the Terminator theme.
Oh, is that what that is?
Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's what you've been doing.
Huh.
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles.
Oh my god. This is a small bottle that turned up in Travian's kitchen a couple days ago that you gave me.
Oh yeah, remember when she was in the outfit?
Mm-hmm.
Flashback. They're aromatherapy. Blah 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 blah. Blue bottles, but this one's green.
And differently shaped.
The green is the bigger thing about it that makes it different, though.
I mean, the other ones were blue, curvy, and had flowers on top. We finally got back the analysis results back from the lab. So, what is it, Back? Is it back the poison? Back not, pal, back. It's back medication. Medication?
For the back?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently.
For ears, you mean...
Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elk was using for his ruptured eardrum.
What was Glenn Elk's ear medicine doing at the kitchen? Kleptomaniac!
Jesus.
What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that?
Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour, and they might have gotten something on the prints, but...
It's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Virus, probably.
Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it?
Got it! No pregnancies! Today's trial.
Use the defense condom.
I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
I thought for a damn second there it said Rhino.
Really?
Look, the first two letters of Rhino are R and H, and P only needs one line to become an R.
Or my name isn't Rhino.
Ravel, ravel, ravel. Order. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good, then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand, unlike me. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
Real quick. So, have we seen anything that disproves my theory about there being a murder and then a staged murder?
Nope.
I'm currently trying to think, how could Maggie have been unconscious for so long?
Unconsciousness varies.
Okay, I guess so. Like, assuming it was, like, murder, or, like, the real murder happens, Victor then... How would they have been able to tell when Victor would come in, though? Was the staged murder first, maybe? Except Maggie would have been there at the time, so... I don't know how they would have... Unless...
Well, he's a regular, so he comes in presumably at the same time every day.
I guess.
Actually, here's a question for you, though. No,
What?
never mind. I'm good.
What?
Nope, I'm good.
Sure?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and we know exactly what time Victor was there because they did the whole lottery ticket thing, presumably just to secure a time. So we don't know when Maggie actually passed out because that was presumably just earlier in the day at some point.
Okay. Also, wait, it's worth noting that obviously Victor... I think they probably set up the fake thing, like, immediately after. Because didn't Victor say the lottery thing happened, like,
It happens at... The lottery ticket itself says that it happens Monday at 1:30 every week.
Yeah, but didn't Victor say that he was there, like, just barely past 1:30 or something?
Yeah, and then he had to leave for the phone thing, and it took him over 5 minutes.
Why? Okay, yeah. I still don't know how they had an hour-long gap instead of just 1:30 and 2 or something, but they probably just wanted to make it more obvious for us.
Well, see, that's what I was questioning, because the stage thing would have happened before it, not after it.
But he
the
said
one Victor saw was the last one, whether it be the stage first or the actual murder first. He saw whatever one was last, which happened at 1:30.
And
so the weird hour-long gap on the autopsy is still weird.
It's possible Maggie witnessed a fake murder.
Something like that. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it.
Thank you, RoboCop.
You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles.
That's Judge.
What are the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today, I'll prove it. Very well, let the first witness take the stand. He's so fabulous. And you are? Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and head chef of Le Tribulations restaurant, Enchanté. Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? I don't think these people know the concept of an effeminate man.
To be fair, he looks very feminine and acts very feminine. They maybe legit
and describes himself as a girl.
Yeah.
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am a pert and perky gentleman known. Oh. On the day of the incident, you were in the Tribulations kitchen. Isn't that right? Oui, monsieur.
No, it's with you, monsieur.
Everything feels right. Huh.
Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy?
Very well, your testimony, please witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations. Oi, volunteers.
At Tribulations.
When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. What? What? Oh boy. Oi, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. You would have seen everything in reverse, no? Wow.
Mirror!
So that's where we're going with this, huh? That is not a mirror.
That is so much bullshit.
That is such bullshit.
Yeah.
Oi, un grand mirror, la most enormous mirror. Only big mirrors in his vanity.
You know what the funny thing is? People would this seems like something that'd be really easy to disprove just based on the people who go in there. Nobody goes there. That's why he could get away with it.
And suddenly the mystery disappears.
Just like this coffee.
Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but this is the darkest coffee. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front.
I was about to continue to the next line with something about Viola and the bandage on her head, but... the heck?
Richie got hit on the head.
No, it's like she was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the face in the shape of an L on her forehead.
Her face in the shape of an L on her forehead?
No! What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me.
Now then, Mr. Wright. You can't stop coming and you don't stop coming. No, just kidding. You may begin your cross-examination.
I sure feel like I've been fed to the rules, but I'll hit the ground running. Do you agree that it didn't make sense not to live for fun?
I'm just gonna read my line. Ma, of course, the young man who died. And the other not-so-young man. You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume.
What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? We've been over this! Nobody's gonna believe you! Just hold off. Something tells me...
Time paradox.
What?
Time paradox.
Why is this a time paradox?
Because one person saw something that was there and others say it wasn't there.
Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence.
We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we?
Oh, I have some Wheaties that are pretty hard. Those Wheaties are now a day old.
I mean, we probably stuck them in the fridge.
Guess I'll just have to try...
Phoenix's cold heart.
I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being.
Look at these weenies. Aren't you tempted to tell the truth?
I'm sorry, I must ask. Did your brain get smart but your head got dumb? I had to finish the verse, it was bugging me. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today?
So much to say. You are familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur?
The only thing I'm familiar with is that I don't know what's wrong with taking the back street.
You'll never know where you don't go, but I did just a few moments ago.
But we'll be shine if we don't glow.
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decorature?
No, no, Art Deco, it is a style of design, Your Honor. I feel like he's supposed to be saying that in French accent. Art Deco, it is a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing.
Does the carpet match the drapes? Oh yes, that. Of course, that deco. I was trying to achieve a more à la feminate look for my restaurant.
You've been succeeding at that, so...
I was planning the most bold remodeling of la decor.
I'm gonna try just doing this, just now. No!
Your Honor, bullshit.
How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Boof?
Oh, something about 4 meters wide and, wait, about 2 meters high.
Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard, holy glass in a frame, that's huge.
I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually.
The ceiling? Is there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
I know, but I decided not to go through with it in the end.
What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not?
Yes.
So, okay, then I should have pressed beforehand. I thought it was going to be something like he installed it on the walls. If he really had such a large mirror at the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's
it was very clean.
But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies.
But... You didn't ask, Trite. You only have yourself to blame for such sloppy work.
What?
The mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turns out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end.
It just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime.
The only mirror we ever seen was his damn vanity one. If you want to doubt someone, try it. Look in the mirror. Sure, the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. That was a serious burn. So the witness reflected... The witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in the mirror.
You got it?
Yes.
Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
But he was an old man. Normally. How does normally come into this? It's lame, Trite, even for you.
Huh?
Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it, Mr. The coat conveniently fell on the bust? Or does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Trite.
Ah! Not the hair!
I do not have a top knot, but I am cool. If Otto is correct, he is cool. Lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Bien, logic has won today.
Oh,
Damn,
he said he saw the glasses over the left eye, but if the glasses were in reverse, they would have been over the right eye.
That's true.
Everything. He would have seen everything in reverse.
Oi.
Knees.
Hey, Nick, we should take a sec and think about what old
How did he phrase it again?
Testimony.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lines of his specs. No question. He locked me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand.
If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right.
And that clears up
A
all the
dramatic
problems.
gasp was needed there.
That clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess. Or does it?
Huh.
It's kind of hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but...
Do you think old CD saw it through a reflection?
If he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony.
I feel like we're harping on it now.
Yeah, like
that just makes the situation worse for Maggie.
Whenever you and I realize something, like immediately after we realize it based off vague clues, the game immediately starts hammering it in.
Do you realize this? There's got to be something in that old man's testimony. We just got to dig deeper.
Ooh, how do I don't have the HMDs as
profile.
Like so I know I was thinking that, but I just was checking to see if I had HMD as a profile. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you might be wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side.
Exactement. You see, monsieur, now as you think about it, it is not so hard, no?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head?
Order! Order! Glares at Dave. Right, Mr. Wright is correct.
Oh, it's the Wheaties!
God damn it, I need to bring in a slingshot. The witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror. Then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right arm. How bitter. Try it. You should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different?
You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks. You remember this, I presume.
The I broke the vase, sorry apology, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony?
Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. More of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear! Yeah, that's what he said. Well, trite.
It's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Wow, I really thought he was old Seedy for a minute there. Gado's good.
Kudo.
Off. I don't care what his name is. Must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in most of its testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of contradiction you just found is now a rash.
You're supposed to be on my side, goddammit.
Mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant.
The mirror.
Hello, is everyone sitting comfortably?
Oh, I get to press that statement.
La mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing it to... Okay, this is just bullshit now. There's only one seat from which you could have seen the image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
We already have proof that's incorrect because he said he knocked over the vase.
Yep. Plus, who would stick a freaking mirror in the middle of the freaking walkway? It's stupid.
Yeah.
After a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. At least we're on the small details this time. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing us men like this. I'm sure a lot of men are confused now. Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
I hate that guy.
How does he notice my sprite differences? You say you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please explain to me why I had to use my gavel just then.
You see, Dave over there was about to yell out something about a pizza.
Ah, you're right. It was pure instinct.
Alright, I know what to do here, so I'm just going to make a save here, and I'm just going to present it on the 2 bits of testimony that I think it might be.
Thank you. No. Nope. Nope. There you go.
Oh, so it's only 1 piece of testimony then. This piece of evidence contradicts with testimony we have heard, Your Honor.
The crime photo.
That started off as very generic text.
Yeah, it did. I was like, was this wrong?
Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist.
What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Oh!
Thank you, Dave. I will allow that. Now then, if the defense would kindly get some cream for that burn. What is the something that should not exist in this photo?
I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture.
The face? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony?
Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table.
Oh, shit.
What? It very clearly contradicts with Victor's testimony! There's what? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm outside for the moment, watching no respects.
There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there was an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Okay, give me just a sec to get back inside, okay?
Okay. Alright, Rhino, I discovered something just now.
Oh?
We don't have a box.
I thought we decided the bag was the box.
No, it doesn't have as good a tone. Plus, we don't have a bag.
Oh, right, we got rid of it.
Okay, we actually do have the prescription bag.
I don't think it'll be like the key thing, though.
We have a box.
Ooh.
The Wheaties!
Weenies.
Plus, this came in a box, sort of.
What did?
The MC Bomber.
You mean like a CD case?
Yeah, CD case, that's kind of a box, right?
Eh.
The lunchbox is the box. Alright.
Don't be an idiot, try it. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Man, this guy is actually pretty dense. Exactly.
Thank you.
There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie.
Dun 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 dun.
Not yet.
Don't try to confuse the court, try. Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase. While the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary, in his own words. I did not touch anything else, except the mirror. He's overheating. He has to drink all the coffee!
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day.
In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear which he couldn't hear? Ooh, lots of rhyming there. Huh. You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I could feel it.
Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Screen goes black. Remember what Maggie told us?
What do you say?
I was like, the screen goes black. Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudos' testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up.
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. Whoosh. Boom, boom. Tick, tick,